Our planet, breathtaking in its beauty, hides a raw, untamed power. From the depths of oceans to the heights of the atmosphere, nature's forces collide, shaping our world. Few forces are as awe-inspiring and terrifying as the cyclone, a tempest of unimaginable scale. Born from warm tropical waters, these storms gather energy, unleashing winds and rains that devastate landscapes. Cyclones reshape coastlines and alter history in hours. But why are they growing stronger? Join us as we explore the heart of the cyclone and the threat it poses to our world. Cyclones, known as hurricanes or typhoons, leave a lasting mark on human history. Their arrival brings howling winds, torrential rains, and chaos. The aftermath? Homes reduced to rubble, communities swallowed by surging seas. Yet humanity rebuilds, stronger, more resilient, striving to predict and prepare for the next storm. Understanding cyclones gives us the power to adapt and survive. This is a story of destruction, resilience, and the science behind these meteorological monsters. Over warm tropical waters, a monster stirs. Rising warm air creates a void, drawing in winds that begin to spin, fueled by Earth's rotation. As water vapor condenses, heat is released, driving the storm's growth. The eye, a calm center, forms, a deceptive oasis amidst chaos. From a mere disturbance, a cyclone is born, fueled by the sun and Earth's spin. Its path across the ocean is a harbinger of destruction. The journey has begun and its fury will soon be unleashed. The Earth's spin shapes the cyclone's destructive dance. The Coriolis effect causes air to curve, giving cyclones their characteristic spin. In the northern hemisphere, they rotate counterclockwise. In the southern, clockwise. Cyclones form between 5 and 30 degrees latitude where this effect is strongest. The Coriolis effect, though invisible, is vital in shaping these storms. It's a reminder of our planet's interconnected systems. The Saffir-Simpson scale categorizes cyclones from Category 1 to 5 based on wind speeds. Category 1 causes minor damage, while Category 3 and above bring devastating destruction. At Category 5, with winds over 157 miles per hour, entire coastlines are reshaped. This scale helps scientists and responders assess risks and issue warnings. Understanding the scale aids communities in preparing for these powerful storms. It's a tool for survival in the face of nature's fury. Warm oceans fuel cyclones, with temperatures above 80 degrees Fahrenheit providing the energy they need. As global temperatures rise, oceans warm, intensifying these storms. This delicate balance between ocean heat and cyclone strength is alarming. Scientists monitor sea temperatures to predict cyclone formation and paths. Rising ocean temperatures mean stronger, more destructive storms. Understanding this link is crucial for future preparedness. Our warming planet is reshaping weather patterns, intensifying cyclones. Warmer oceans fuel stronger storms with higher winds and heavier rainfall. This isn't natural fluctuation, it's driven by human activities like greenhouse gas emissions. Rising sea levels and warming oceans amplify cyclone impacts. The consequences of our actions are undeniable, and cyclones are just one example. The link between climate change and these storms is clear and urgent. Human activities are driving climate change, altering cyclone behavior. Greenhouse gases trap heat, warming oceans and intensifying storms. Cyclones are becoming more frequent, intense, and destructive. Rising sea levels worsen storm surges and coastal flooding. The IPCC confirms human activity as the dominant cause of warming. Cyclones remind us of our planet's interconnected systems and the impact of our actions. Understanding these changes is vital for adapting to a warming world. The jet stream, driven by temperature differences, steers cyclones. Climate change disrupts this balance, causing the jet stream to meander. This leads to erratic cyclone paths, impacting unprepared regions. A warming Arctic weakens the jet stream, increasing extreme weather events. Cyclones now strike areas once considered safe. The instability of the jet stream highlights the complex effects of climate change. These shifts demand global attention and action. Predicting cyclones is complex, influenced by natural and human factors. Models show warming climates will intensify storms, with more major cyclones. Rising sea levels amplify storm surges, increasing destruction. Even weaker cyclones now pose significant risks to coastal areas. Research and preparedness are crucial to mitigate future impacts. The future of cyclones is uncertain, but the need for action is clear. Section 5. A call to action. Adapting to a changing climate. The increasing frequency and intensity of cyclones are, well, a stark reminder of the urgent need for global action on climate change. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions through a transition to clean energy sources, sustainable land management practices, and technological innovation is absolutely paramount to mitigating the risks posed by these powerful storms. However, adaptation measures are equally crucial. This includes strengthening infrastructure, improving early warning systems, and implementing coastal protection measures to reduce the vulnerability of communities in cyclone-prone regions. Building resilient communities really requires a multifaceted approach, involving governments, scientists, businesses, and individuals working together to address the challenges posed by a changing climate. Education and awareness campaigns are essential for informing the public about the risks of cyclones and empowering individuals to take steps to prepare for these events. This includes understanding evacuation procedures, securing homes and businesses, and having a disaster preparedness kit readily available. The increasing fury of cyclones is, without a doubt, a global challenge demanding a global response. By embracing sustainable practices, investing in adaptation measures, and fostering a culture of preparedness, we can mitigate the risks and build a more resilient future in the face of Earth's fury. Section 1. When Fury Met Land, Cyclone Idai's Wrath. March 2019. The people of Mozambique, a nation on the southeast coast of Africa, went about their daily lives unaware of the impending catastrophe brewing in the Indian Ocean. Cyclone Idai, a storm of extraordinary power, was gathering strength, its sights set on the unsuspecting coastline. On the evening of March 14th, Idai slammed into the port city of Beira, unleashing its full fury. Winds exceeding 100 miles per hour roared through the city, ripping apart homes, businesses, and infrastructure with terrifying ease. Torrential rainfall, measured in feet, not inches, triggered widespread flooding, turning streets into raging rivers and submerging entire neighborhoods. The storm surge, a wall of water driven ashore by the cyclone's powerful winds, proved even more destructive. In some areas, the surge reached heights of over 20 feet, inundating coastal communities and swallowing everything in its path. The once vibrant city of Beira was transformed into a scene of utter devastation, a grim testament to the raw power of nature's fury. As Idai moved inland, it continued its path of destruction, bringing torrential rainfall and flooding to Zimbabwe and Malawi. The storm's impact was widespread, affecting millions of people across southeastern Africa. The human toll was staggering, with over 1,000 lives lost and countless others displaced, their homes and livelihoods destroyed. August 2017. Hurricane Harvey devastated Houston, Texas, unleashing record-breaking rainfall and catastrophic flooding. Streets became rivers, homes turned into islands, and bayous overflowed, inundating neighborhoods. Over 50 inches of rain fell, the highest ever recorded in the continental U.S. Thousands of homes and businesses were destroyed, and highways became impassable. Emergency services struggled to rescue residents and provide aid. Harvey highlighted the urgent need for better infrastructure and climate change action. The Caribbean, a region renowned for its idyllic islands, turquoise waters, and vibrant cultures, faces the brunt of the Atlantic hurricane season year after year. For these island nations, cyclones are not just abstract threats but a recurring reality, a constant reminder of their vulnerability to the forces of nature. In 2017, the Caribbean was dealt a particularly devastating blow when two powerful hurricanes, Irma and Maria, tore through the region in quick succession. Irma, a Category 5 monster, devastated the islands of Barbuda, St. Martin, and the Virgin Islands, leaving behind a trail of destruction and despair. Maria, not far behind, delivered a knockout punch to Dominica, Puerto Rico, and other islands still reeling from Irma's impact. The devastation was widespread and catastrophic. Homes, businesses, and critical infrastructure were reduced to rubble. Power grids collapsed, leaving millions without electricity for months. Hospitals were overwhelmed, struggling to treat the injured and provide essential services. The economic losses were staggering, setting back the development of these island nations for years to come. The 2017 hurricane season served as a stark reminder of the existential threat that climate change poses to the Caribbean. Rising sea levels, warmer ocean temperatures, and more intense hurricanes are a dangerous combination, putting these island nations at increasing risk. The need for international cooperation, climate change mitigation, and adaptation measures has never been more critical. The aftermath of a cyclone extends far beyond the immediate devastation captured in headlines and news reports. The true cost of these natural disasters is measured in lives lost, homes destroyed, livelihoods shattered, and communities forever changed. It is a cost borne not just by individuals but by entire societies, leaving behind scars that can take generations to heal. For those who survive a cyclone's wrath, the journey to recovery is long and arduous. The loss of loved ones, homes, and possessions can have a profound psychological impact, leading to trauma, anxiety, and depression. The disruption to essential services such as healthcare, education, and infrastructure can further exacerbate these challenges, hindering the recovery process. The economic consequences of cyclones can be equally devastating. Businesses are forced to close, jobs are lost, and livelihoods are disrupted, leading to financial hardship and social unrest. The cost of rebuilding damaged infrastructure, restoring essential services, and providing aid to those in need can place a significant strain on government resources, hindering long-term development goals. The impact of cyclones serves as a stark reminder of the human cost of complacency in the face of climate change. Failing to address the root causes of these increasingly frequent and intense events will only lead to greater suffering and hardship in the future. The time for action is now, before the next cyclone strikes, leaving behind a trail of devastation and despair. The immediate aftermath of a cyclone is a scene of utter chaos and despair. Homes lie in ruins, streets are impassable, and the air is thick with the stench of debris and decay. For survivors, the immediate priority is survival, finding food, water, and shelter in a landscape transformed by destruction. Yet, as the initial shock subsides, a new reality sets in: the daunting task of rebuilding shattered lives. Cyclones are a major driver of displacement, forcing millions from their homes and communities. Some are displaced temporarily, able to return to their homes once the immediate danger has passed, and the long process of rebuilding begins. Others are not so fortunate. Their homes destroyed, their livelihoods shattered, they are left with no choice but to seek refuge elsewhere. Joining the growing ranks of climate refugees, this mass displacement of people has far-reaching consequences. Host communities, often already struggling with limited resources, face increased strain as they try to accommodate an influx of displaced persons. Competition for jobs, housing, and essential services can lead to social tensions, further complicating the recovery process. The human toll of displacement extends beyond the physical. The loss of homes, communities, and livelihoods can have a profound psychological impact, leading to trauma, anxiety, and a sense of displacement and loss that can linger for years to come. Children, particularly vulnerable to the disruptions caused by cyclones, may experience developmental delays, educational setbacks, and emotional distress. Cyclones leave behind staggering economic impacts. Businesses are destroyed, infrastructure crippled, and industries halted, sending shockwaves through economies. Tourism and agriculture, vital for many regions, suffer immensely. Crops are destroyed, land salinated, and livelihoods lost. Rebuilding homes, schools, and infrastructure comes at a staggering cost. Recovery is slow, trapping communities in poverty and worsening inequalities. Cyclones wreak havoc not just on human settlements but also on nature. Coastal ecosystems from coral reefs to mangroves bear the brunt of the storm's fury. Storm surges poison freshwater, kill vegetation, and reshape coastlines. Coral reefs, the rainforests of the sea, are left broken and smothered. Mangroves, natural storm buffers, are destroyed, leaving coasts vulnerable. As the planet warms and the impacts of climate change intensify, coastal communities around the world face an uncertain future. Rising sea levels, warmer ocean temperatures, and more intense cyclones are a potent combination, threatening the very existence of some communities and forcing others to adapt or relocate. For many coastal communities, particularly those in low-lying island nations and delta regions, the question is not if, but when, they will be forced to abandon their homes and seek refuge elsewhere. The encroaching sea, combined with the increasing frequency and intensity of cyclones, is making life in these vulnerable areas increasingly untenable, forcing difficult choices about the future. Even for communities not facing immediate displacement, the challenges posed by a changing climate are significant. Protecting coastal infrastructure from erosion and storm surges, securing freshwater supplies, and adapting to changing weather patterns will require significant investment and innovation. The future of coastal communities depends on our collective action to address climate change. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions, investing in adaptation measures, and supporting the resilience of vulnerable communities are essential steps in mitigating the risks and ensuring a sustainable future for those who call the coast home. The time for action is now, before the rising tide of climate change washes away the cultures, livelihoods, and very existence of these communities living on the edge. The swirling vortex of a cyclone is a majestic yet terrifying reminder of nature's power and our planet's delicate balance. Rising sea levels and intense storms show the impact of climate change driven by human activities. Yet, amidst destruction, hope shines through. Communities adapt, scientists innovate, and resilience prevails. Together, we share the responsibility to protect our planet and its people. The fight against climate change is a call to action for all of us. Every small step cycling, conserving energy, supporting eco-friendly businesses, contributes to a sustainable future. Together, we can amplify voices, advocate for change, and inspire global action. Every action, every voice, every effort brings us closer to a resilient future. The challenges posed by climate change and the increasing fury of cyclones are undeniable, but they are not insurmountable. Humanity has faced formidable challenges throughout its history, and time after time, we have risen to the occasion, demonstrating our ingenuity, resilience, and capacity for compassion. The path forward will require a collective effort, a global commitment to transitioning to a low-carbon economy, investing in sustainable infrastructure, and supporting the most vulnerable communities. It will require innovation, collaboration, and a shared sense of responsibility for the planet we call home. We must learn from the lessons of the past, from the communities devastated by cyclones, from the stories of resilience and the spirit of rebuilding. We must harness the power of technology, science, and human ingenuity to develop innovative solutions to mitigate the risks and adapt to a changing climate. The future is not preordained. The choices we make today will determine the course of our planet's future. By choosing to act, by choosing to embrace sustainability, by choosing to work together, we can create a legacy of resilience, a future where humanity and nature thrive in harmony. Let us choose hope over despair, action over inaction. Let us be the generation that turns the tide on climate change, that builds a more resilient and sustainable future for all. For the sake of our planet, for the sake of future generations, for the sake of all living things, the time to act is now.